But you got to be very mindful about what you manifest. You putting all this energy and making into seeing the worst of your significant other, the worst in them. And for what? Because you got some childhood trauma that you can't fix, or there's something on the inside of you that you don't want to tell about. Because the thing about intimacy that's great is that you really do, if you really do the work, you really can find out, like, I don't like this. I don't like when you do this. And it's not a judgment call. It's not being nasty. It's just like, listen, babe, I don't like when you, I don't know. Like, I don't like if you stroke my face. I don't like my face to be touched. Well, why? I don't know. Right. Well, and the longer you go the longer you talk yourself through it, you start to really, understand, like the root of your quote unquote issues.
Facts. Like, and I think a great point. So I think a person should go ahead and be, I guess what you're saying is a person needs to be honest within the conversation, and that will deepen the intimacy between the two people, right?
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. D.K. Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl, it's that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, D.K. Walker. D.K., what's popping?
I don't know what's popping, to be honest. You know what I mean? When I was younger and I didn't have so much of a stomach, I could tell you what's hanging, but I can't tell you what's hanging, can't tell you what's popping.
What's popping? Don't mind me just watching. Too much TikTok.
It's all right.
Guy A knows the songs off TikTok. There was that one that you like, that, oh no. No. He knows that one. He was actually like singing the words to it. I was like, wait a minute, sir. I was like, you better know your ABCs as well as you know the TikTok songs and all these doggone movies.
And he's a rhythmic child, right? So if you put the ABCs to something musical and with rhythm, I promise you, he'll learn them like it's no problem at all.
Mm-hmm. He struggles. Like where most kids, it's LMNOP. He struggles right before that, and I think right after. But he does really well.
So my bad. You got him on ABC Mouse?
Of course.
Okay. Well, just have him OD on that. I promise you, that's what we did. With Mama, we actually had her OD on ABC Mouse. Like, you can't do nothing else until you get about an hour or 2 hours of ABC Mouse in you, and then after a while, it just clicked. So he'd be all right.
Yeah, and I pride myself because I started early with him as far as like the reading when he was like months old. And then when he, was like at the cooing, level, then, I'd be like A, and then, wait for him to respond. And we would go through it that way. Learn his numbers and things like that. His speech has, come a far, far way. He cracks me up though, because now he's at that place where he knows like the lines in movies. Like he was watching the Miles Morales, like Spider-Man, and I was in the kitchen and I'm like, who is he talking to? I'm like, is he talking to the TV? And then he came in the kitchen and handed me like a sippy cup. And there was some part of the movie and he goes rushing, like around the corner, but he got like in the middle of the living room and like acts it out. I said, you know what? If you get to this place where you are reciting the lines to the movies, we don't need to watch it anymore.
No. You're indoctrinating him actually into being a lifelong MCU head. So, let him walk out. You're doing the boy a great justice. You're doing the boy great justice.
Him and his Spidey pajamas that he refuses to come out of. Every time he's at my house, he refuses to come out of them. And then did you see his pajama pants he had on the other day on my Instagram? Where he had the Iron Man and his Iron Man.
Yeah, I did.
The Hulk and all that. I said, listen, clearly your mother is raising you right. Or I bought the pajamas. I can't remember which is which. I had him like a Batman onesie, like it's 6 months. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm buying this. And then he had an Iron Man, Spider-Man, Superman. So he kind of didn't have too much of a choice. My ex and I are big. My ex is a big comic book fan, so he's very Marvel and DC. So he really didn't have too much of a choice. So
Yeah,
There you have it.
definitely not doing wrong by that. You know what I mean? One thing with the comic books actually helped me to be a better reader, right? You know, and great story, things of this nature. So he's on a good path.
Comic books also got your ass beat, but you know, we're gonna digress.
We're not look, if y'all want to know what the Thorny Chic is referencing, like I forget the name of the episode, but you know, she tells of the first and last time I got the ass whipping from hell.
Okay. So your mama gave it to you.
Oh no. It's crazy. I had the oh no moment waiting before that shit was a TikTok moment. I'm trying to tell you that's how bad.
Listen, when she asked you where you got it from, cue the music. Johnny.
Oh no.
That's when you should have started running.
No. And I told you, and that's what actually after the ass whooping was like, right, you know, we was heavy into going to Sunday school. And of course, you know, they hit you with the indoctrination of tell the truth at all times. The truth should set you free. Mm-hmm. And so and when she asked me that question, I knew, but if I was to be truthful, I knew what was going to come out of me being honest. And at that point in time, I should have lied. I just should have lied.
Nah, the lie hurts.
My life would have been better. Like, I promise you.
No.
It would have. Like, you can say that because you didn't get your ass whipped like the way, like, Jesus.
Listen, you got a black parent spanking. You ain't never had an international parent spanking. That shit is from,
Jesus.
Listen, that's a whole different kind of hell.
That's the problem with black people. I smell you, but we're not going to do that because that's what black people do. We try to do one-upmanship doing hardships.
That's not a one-up. Who wants to one-up an ass beating? That's what you just did. Trust me, because I know my parents are crazy. Listen, you didn't get one spanking. You got two in our household. My mom would spank you first, and then my dad come home and spank you again. Mind you.
Stop. Okay. Like we gonna get off this because you're trying to like who household was the worst? Whose house? Like I want to help you out, right? Like you know, your name is Kern for the record, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And besides my jokes, you are a female, correct?
Yeah. Last I checked.
Right. Okay, so your name is Kern. You are a female. You are fair skinned. You know, leaning towards the side of being translucent, correct?
Yeah. I mean, not today. I went tanning today, so you know, I got a little pigmentation.
Okay. But for you know, I mean, you know, it's safe to say
purposes.
right. It's safe to say that if you look through your genealogy, that Casper's somewhere down the line, right? It's safe to say that. So
my dad is that. Mm-hmm.
Right. Not a problem, right? So you being all those things, it's hard for me to believe that, you know, your mother might, because like women recognize young bullshit. Like, cause your mother one time, you know, she was young. So she had no problem tearing off into your ass because she was only looking at herself, right? But your father, notice I didn't say father, your father, come on, B. Come on.
You didn't know the general was like that? Oh yeah. Listen,
oh, Jesus.
This is a true story. My dad has like basic rules of life, like when we were growing up. And so it was go to school, get your education, come home, do your homework. And so it would be, so when he got home at like 5:30, he'd be like, is your homework done? The best answer would be yes, or I'm working on it. Because, you know, my mom would like, when we got home, she'd let us have a snack, we'd eat dinner, then go back to it. So the worst answer is no, I haven't started. So for whatever reason that day, I must have felt like rocking the boat and pushing his button. I was like, nope, I hadn't started. I hadn't cracked it open. And I don't know what I said to him in general about it. I'm sure I had a smart ass comment because that's just, you know, the nature of me. And he spanked me and then cried about it. Like, he's like, this is going to hurt me more than hurt you. I was like, yeah, fucking right. They're like, let's get this over with. And so, yeah, he spanked me. Sure enough, he cried afterwards.
Oh, listeners, I need y'all, wherever you listen to podcasts at, whether platform, there's a section where you can leave a comment. Do me a favor and leave a comment, you know what I mean, and yay or nay, do you believe the bullshit just came out of Kern's mouth? That's all I'm asking.
My mom. I can tell my mom to come downstairs. I can tell my mom to come downstairs.
We're not going to do that. I want the listeners.
I mean, I can verify the story. Quit.
I hear you talking, man. You just knowing damn well your daddy ain't do nothing but hug you and put money in your pocket. Hush your face, child.
You're right.
That's all. That's
what he does now. That's what he does now. It took us a long time to get here.
Oh, I hear you talking. Your spoiled, privileged ass. Anyway, what's good with you?
Oh my God, spoiled and privileged. Yeah, that's me.
What?
Spoiled and privileged. Yep, that's me. Just call me a Kardashian.
And first off, I'm not going to insult you.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to insult you by calling you a Kardashian. You do have talent. Did I say that out loud? I'm so wrong.
Listen, was that a comment? Was that a compliment?
Yeah, you do got, I'm sorry. They just, big ass with no talent. I'm trying to figure that one the fuck out. God damn it, man. Anywho, what's good with you, man? How's the family?
Everybody's good. Everybody is good. Your girl is tired, between working the 9 to 5, whatever, we want to call it, because I work second shift. I'm going to be on these next couple of days, like 6 days back to back. So it's going to definitely be a bitch. And then working in the work schedule, picking up Guy A from school, checking in on the other kids. They're doing well. They are pushing them, obviously to go back to school for real. And I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. I mean, we've discussed it before and I don't know. I just don't know. A part of me is like, yes, go back. And the other part is, no, don't go. Don't take my baby. God, please don't let my baby get sick. Because, everybody's so excited about the vaccine, and I have not gotten it. I have no intentions of getting it until it becomes mandatory. And honestly, by the time it probably becomes mandatory, I will no longer actually be in the medical field. I will be off doing something else, so I won't really have to worry about it. I'll still get the flu shot like I do every year, but yeah, y'all ain't told me on the vaccine yet. That's it. That's all.
Well, I ain't taking the flu shot for a chance, and I'm definitely not taking the vaccine. And they got to come get mama out the house for her to go to school. So I don't know what we're going to do. I'm gonna cross that bridge once we get to it. But it is what it is.
All right. So what's going on in your side of the world?
I want to put foot in my wife's ass. Like, I just what I want to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't mean that, I'm not abusive, right? Because my wife is violent and I can't beat her. But, I went out earlier tonight to get some food. And the reason I didn't get it because I ran out of something to make her a sandwich. They going to Wawa make the best. Cut the check, Wawa. Just plugged you. Look, Wawa make the best sandwiches. And she wanted the BOT. So and with extra bacon, cool, not a problem. So I was getting it. They was like, they called my number like, I hope you ain't paid for it yet. We don't got no bacon in the truck coming in. You want to wait? So of course I threw the chips on the floor, bought a receipt to the little ticket joint and dropped it on the floor and walked out. Yes, I was petty, but true story. So I'm like, cause every time and there's a Wawa right around the corner from me, but they just ghetto is all get out, right? They never have nothing. I go to the other Wawa, they walk through the door, they greet you, you know what I mean? If you listen closer, you can hear the doggone trumpets of heaven playing. Like you walk into that Wawa, they got everything and they sandwiches be bursting with everything. With the closest one always, we don't got this. Oh, we out of tuna. We out of doggone chicken salad. Like, okay, y'all just need to close y'all deli down because there's something like turn around, y'all out of shit. So I didn't get my sandwich because they didn't have stuff for my wife's sandwiches. And would you believe this heifer? Yes, I said heifer had the audacity to order food and ain't checking, ain't say, did you eat with it? She ain't ask nothing. It's just like, okay, I don't see no food. I'm just going to order me something. I'm like, oh no. Oh, no. I'm like, and then I just been making mental notes, right? The reason I didn't get it because I'm in solidarity. They didn't have your food. I could have still got my food. But I'm like, we'll figure it out. Right. But I came home to tell her, but she on the couch sleep. And so I went upstairs, had a bowl of something because to jump on the podcast and like, okay, once I take a break, I go in and talk to her, but she didn't even come have a conversation. I answered the door. Some dude standing there, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, it's late. And then, I see. Then I see it, and they got two styrofoam trays in the bag. I'm like, okay, cool. One for me, one for her. You know what I mean? Or we can split it with baby girls. Like, we good to go. And I'm like, this show. She said, and I hope because she's in her office, which is next door to me, having a team meeting. It is Tuesday night, right? And then she said, yeah, that's my food. She didn't say, yeah, that's our food. She said, yeah, that not me and Marty's food. Yeah, that's my food. And just think, I didn't eat because they didn't have your bacon. That's what I get for being loyal. You know what I mean? That's what I get for being loyal. Not
the church mother.
It's the truth. If I went and just did me and said they ain't had your, and then it'd have been wow, right? But then again, in solid, like that's the part that be. See, I tell people like the small things I pay attention to, right? It's never the big things, the small things, and I'm like, and then I raise the eyebrow because I'm like, okay, cool, not a problem. That's okay, cool, not a problem. So, but besides that, man, I'm good. I'm good. I don't got no complaints. Like, I promise you, it is what it is. You've been, married as long as I have, 12 years a slave, be 13 this year. You just let that shit roll off your back. with a growling stomach. Promise you. Some
Said
bullshit.
the hangriness.
I just don't believe it. Like, I took one for the team, and the team was like, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna take one for the team. Like, I'm gonna stay there. I'm a loyal soldier. Nigga, fuck you, the team, and your doggone loyalty. Like, really? Oh, okay. All right.
They put you on the bench.
It's all right. It's all right. It is all right. It's all right. But, you know, besides that, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not plotting. Okay, I just lied. I am plotting. Like, you just not a problem. Like, you can, like, you gonna stop fucking me over. Just, you gotta at least be like, you know, kiss me on the back of my neck or something. Just don't keep hitting me raw. Yeah, I mean, just lie to me. Take it. You gonna like it. What? Sometimes I'm just being honest. This is how I feel. Like, you take one, and it's like the small things. Like, it's never the big things. Like, I'm a team player and I do the sacrificing, right? And then when that don't come back, you looking like, it don't be the major shit. Like, the major shit, we cool. But the minor shit, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And then the thing is, though, that the minor stuff and, you know, ends up being, you know, major thing. You know, when you add it all up, it does become major things. And it's funny you say that because I like to ask our circle, you know, my circle, which does include you, you know, like, I ask random questions. And so the one that was this weekend was, you know, am I difficult to love, or do I come off as if I'm difficult to love? And so one person responded to me. They were like, no, there's three things with you. And he said the one is, as long as you're having consistent sex, they pay attention to you and they pay attention to the details that you put out, then overall you're good in any relationship. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know it was that easy. He was like, you really are. He was like, you're the least difficult person to love. It's very interesting. He goes, as long as whoever you're with gives you consistent sex, and the rest of us pay attention to whatever's important to me becomes important to you to some degree. Even if you kind of lie about it, I guess I'm all right. And just pay attention to the details that I put out. He's like, you're typically okay. He goes, it's not that hard. I was like, oh, well, there you have it.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're paying attention to the details that, you know, matter, you know, because we brush off, you know, some people want like the big things, you know, big gifts, big productions, big, you know, what do I want to say? Big displays of affection. And it really be this little stuff that really gets you in or keeps you.
Fact. Some people just, you know, want consistent big dick energy.
True. And in big dick energy form. I feel my calling card. You know, I feel like I got to get a ruler and, you know, message some shit.
See, talk like that. Talk like that. Be like I need to see a birth certificate. Like, you sure?
Felt like I had to pull a ruler. And it's funny too, because, you know, my ex-husband used to always say, he'd be like, please don't challenge Karen's manhood. And I would look at him and be like, what the fuck does that mean? He'd be like, oh, okay. Like, just say something off the wall to you and you feel like you got to take it as a personal, you know, a challenge. Like, if you say, oh, I bet I can drink you on the table. You want to bet? Let's go. Oh, I bet I could. Or, you know, he'd be like, please don't challenge her manhood, because her manhood her pride ain't gonna let her lose. So that's in terrible. All big dick energy, and as DK likes to say, I stand up to pee. So I saw this meme, and so I'm gonna bring it to the podcast, and it has to do with dick. However, not about fucking.
What is that even possible? How can something be about
I
dick?
know. How does the bald-headed hoe speak about dick and it doesn't involve fucking? You'd be very surprised.
Yes. Please enlighten me and also enlighten the listeners.
All right. So, you know, while we're, you know, paying attention to detail, DK, you need to go give your wife some dick. You ready?
Oh no.
Not what you think. It's not what you think. Date is dick. Dick is dates, intimacy, consistency, and kisses. I'll say it again. Give her dick. It's dates, intimacy, consistency, and kisses.
So why can't she give me dick?
I mean, I don't know if you would like that. Depends on what kind we're talking about here, sir.
Ho. So, see, calm down. Like, you won't be cute. You already say stay pretty, don't do cute, right? Like there's a bunch of pretty cute, lonely motherfuckers because they trying to be cute, right? So just stay pretty, don't be cute. Right. And I'm comfortable enough in my manhood because it's a play on words. So it's nothing but, you know what I mean, a play on words as far as dating, intimacy, consistency, and kissing. So we're talking about what men need to give to women. Like as a man that's secure in his doggone, you know, sexuality, like, you know, I want dick too. Right. Of course,
soundbite gonna come back. Yeah.
They're gonna roast my ass in the comments, but like, I want to date. I want my wife to be intimate. I want consistency, and I want to be kissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not all at the same time. I think, again, you know, how we started the podcast out is, you know, paying attention to detail. And I think the thing is, the cliche goes that what you do to get them is what you have to do to keep them. And we forget that because you get into this comfortable routine of, you know, just going along with the flow that you forget, like, let's go out. Like, listen, especially now that, you know, for some of our states, you know, COVID precautions are kind of, you know, lessening. Like, I can actually go out to dinner at any time of the day. I can order food any time of the day. It ain't got to be before 10 or 11. The bar is open. And I think we get so bogged down, you know, within, like, for me, I can only talk for me personally. So with me, you know, with having the podcast and the businesses and the kids, you know, of course, it's easier just to stay home, order some food and stay here and just be comfortable in my sweats. But, you know, it's nice when, you know, she actually puts herself together and goes out and looks like she wants to be, you know, belong to somebody versus just, you know, my sweats, my afro, and, you know, my gray sweatpants, my Nike slides, listen, in full THOT gear. My gray sweats, you know, my afro out, you know, I actually look like I want to belong to somebody.
Yeah, well, you know, even before COVID hit, like, I think that's, you know, dating is definitely a log on the fire to keep your relationship humming along. And I'm guilty of not giving that part of my relationship enough energy. I get so bogged down with the day-to-day that I forget to actually take the time out to, you know, plan something out and be, you know, I guess romantic and surprising, right? But when you don't buy a motherfucker dinner, like after he didn't took one for the team, it's kind of hard. You got a problem. I'm gonna be on one. Like, so like, I'm not being politically correct, you know, fuck you and your motherfucking feelings. So it's kind of hard to be, you know, in a dating romantic mood when you like, yeah, keep singing. So it's kind of hard to be that way when you like, okay, one hand doesn't wash the other butt. And so it takes somebody to be a bigger person in that vein. Be like, okay, you didn't do this, but I'm gonna still rock out because the greater good is for us. No, fuck that shit. The greater good is for us as long as I can benefit because I'll be goddamn.
Right. And I think the reason we stop dating is because I think to a certain degree, we forget like the fun of it and we forget like what it really means to date somebody. You know, it's that time, it's that one-on-one time that you get with your significant other to really just kind of it's beyond the day-to-day mundane shit. Like, this is where we get to really, you know, talk about our goals and talk about where we're going and, you know, just really have some one-on-one time just to be kind of fun and flirty and, you know, be on some bald-headed hoe shit. At least I know I am.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I'm in the mood. So more than likely I'll bounce back after a good night's sleep and hopefully put this behind me. And
do you want me to Postmate you some bacon? I'll Postmate you some right now.
Nah, it ain't even that. It's the principalities of the thing. You know what I mean? It's the principalities. I'm not tripping off no goddamn bacon. It's the principalities of the bullshit. Like, what?
Principality.
Well, a man got to stand for something. If he don't, he'll fall for anything.
Fall for
right.
anything.
Including pork bacon. The fuck?
Do you know they have beef bacon now?
Well, shit, they got turkey bacon too and chicken bacon.
What? I didn't know that part.
Okay, I didn't know about. I'm making up about the chicken part.
I know.
Right. But they definitely have turkey bacon, right? But yes, they have beef bacon as well.
Yeah, I saw that today. I was like, oh, I said the game done changed.
Poor cow. Poor cow. Just poor cow. Like, you don't feel that bad about the pig, but the cow, you like, steaks and whatnot, right?
Listen, Chick-fil-A. You be all right.
I'll be something. I promise you I'll be something and whatnot. So, any listeners out there, I really think, go hard to pay for dating, even during our current circumstances, like set some time aside to be special to the SO in your life, right? I don't care if you fix up a good picnic on the living room floor, like you run the kids upstairs, tell them don't bring their monkey ass downstairs for a couple of hours. It will help you weather the storms of when you're not seeing eye to eye. And during these times that we're currently living in, you're more apt not to see eye to eye because it's, you're so stressed out. Cause it's just, we're being forced upon this new way of living, right? So you got to get back to some old things to help you weather the storm of this new way of living.
I think it's life too. I've said this before, is that, the trajectory of life, is to kind of not necessarily pull you apart, but the way you evolve, you go your way, he's going his, or, however you want to word it, you're going yours and they're going theirs, and you're going in opposite directions. And the whole point of a relationship really is you have to remind each other of why we're in this. Why did we start this? Why are we together? You got to get back to square one. And sometimes date night, a simple date night will,
it don't have to be nothing elaborate. And I think that's what happened, right? So, women and men don't, do to the point but just something to reconnect you and your mate. So I think that for me is the definition of a date night, something that's going to reconnect. Like, what do they like to do? What can you do? What can you afford to do? And do that. And sometimes it can be simple as playing a damn Uno game. It's crazy, cause what happens, you playing, you talking shit, and then you actually talking, go sit on the couch, go catch a movie. It can be something simple, right? Of course, some people may want a little more, and then when the time and or finances permit, then you give a little more. But I think at the essence of it all is just the simple fact of being intentional with your time that's being spent with your mate can be turned into a date. It's got to be intentional with that time, though. Minus the phones. Let me say that. Put the fucking phone down, because you can't be fully vested with anybody in your presence if you're scrolling, clicking, sharing, liking,
double tapping, TikToking, Snapchatting. Sorry.
Facebooking, gram Instagram. Yeah.
Do it for the gram. Do it for the gram.
Link ending. Yeah, put your phone down, man, and give, whomever that you're in the house with, or even just whoever that's in your life, give them that undivided attention,
Absolutely. Which leads us to intimacy. I've said this before.
Yes, that's the I. That's the I and dick, right? We got the D. Right. We got the D and dick out of the way, which is dating, right? Now we into the I and dick, which is intimacy.
And people always confuse intimacy for being intimate. Intimacy is not fucking.
It's not?
Ooh, Hannibal. No. It's not. Intimacy is.
What? That's a lie.
It's not.
Fact check that.
Okay. I'm a Postmate you some bacon. I'm still on the Postmate you some bacon. But being intimate and having intimacy are two different things. Intimacy is me being at my most vulnerable self with you. It's me sharing one-on-one time with you and being my most vulnerable. That's not being intimate. Being intimate with you is me fucking your brains out. Even if it is a Harlem Nights, moment where it's just 15 hard minutes before you fall off into a deep, coma sleep.
Right. But sometimes them 15-minute boys be the best joints. Like, when you young, you be trying to, I think it's an ego thing when you're young.
The sex Olympics? Hell yeah.
Right. Because you talk all that shit to the build-up. Right. So we don't even do that no more.
Because you've been texting all kinds of shit. And even now, because there's so many damn memes and so many damn apps. Listen, you got more time and intent. Like the amount of memes you can send somebody about what you gonna do. And then you get home and you barely can do 10 strokes. Like, my nigga, shut up. Go sit down.
No. Some females tap out too. They not as flexible, so you get the pulling. You got the hand on the shoulder when you hit them from the back, and you got the other hand in the small of their back pushing down, and you hear their motherfucking hips crackle like cereal. Like the rice crispy. You hear that shit crackle, and they want to tap out 5 minutes later. Tell me, oh, you wear me out. I didn't wear you out. Your body gave out with your old ass.
Listen. Say, lady, stop lying on them Meg Stallion knees when you ain't got them Meg Stallion knees. You got rice crisp. You got Kellogg's Rice Krispies. Stop lying. Stop lying.
Your whole lower body parts is brittle. Stop. Like, So yeah,
Peanut
you want to
brittle.
throw. Yeah, you want to throw something back, please. You just want to throw your hair over your shoulder. That's the only thing you throwing back. Stop it.
Right. You can look back at it, but no, you can't throw it back.
Yeah, them
But
days is gone, baby. Them days is gone.
Right. So don't lie to the Meg Stallion. But that's the thing. We are very good at being physical, but when you have to take the physical out, it's very hard because I think, I don't know where in society we got this ideal, especially for men, that, if they show emotion or anything like that, that it's weakness. And it's really not, because I want to know.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Like,
right.
Yeah, you could.
Because at the end of the day, we want to know, not necessarily like the deepest, darkest secret, but you want to know what your partner thinks. You want to know what is in their heart. Not only about you and the relationship, about where they're going in life.
Right. Well, my bad for cutting you off. That's, a staple of the podcast. I do that. I don't mean to be rude. Okay, a lot. But I think so with men, like, I think what happens is y'all put us in this box. Like, I really put us in this box, and you hear this false narrative. And it's not no really judgment on you or any woman that does it, right? But it's a false narrative thinking that men are not, that we don't want to be vulnerable. Like, a man to carry the weight of the world is a heavy motherfucking load, right? And a lot of times we want to unload that. We want to give y'all everything. But what happens in doing so, we don't want to give you, all of us, talking about our most darkest, moments, when we're just our most vulnerable. Like, that's a heavy thing to do. And that takes paramount trust, right? We'll do that. And then what sometimes happen, I'm not saying this happens all the time, but pardon me, that Pure water is definitely kicking in. Shout out to Pure, cut the motherfucking check.
I'm gonna go burp the baby.
Yeah, we'll put a nipple in my mouth. Look, so the reason that men, may have a problem doing that, because they don't want to hear later on in an argument. They don't, and that's a two-way street, because some men do that shit too, right? But a lot of times a man don't want to sit and pour out his soul, and then as soon as you got an ingrown hair in your pussy, you want to talk crazy and bring up some wild cowboy shit that he told you in the still of the night. And then, and at that point in time, you can never go back to ground zero, because that's a bridge that you didn't burn. And I don't give a fuck. Like, if you bring in, whatever to build that bridge back, it'll never be the same. Now I got it. My words are measured so that intimacy is not really intimate. Like, it's not really, truthful. I'm really measured in my tones. I can't give you all that, because once I did, you took it back and you used that as ammunition when we going back and forth, and then you hit below the belt, and then I'm stuck. And I can only be mad at me, because I thought we were in a great enough space where I can just give you my all and know that, I can rest my fears at your feet and not have you trample them, when the time came for you to be vindictive for whatever reason.
Right. And I think the other thing that we have to, in having that conversation, which you just had, but we also have to have the conversation of having effective communication. And when you have effective communication, you learn how to fight very well. And I don't mean fist fighting, I ain't talking about Ike and Tina, but you gotta
eat the cake, anime. Eat the goddamn cake.
Right.
You gonna sing the song the way
anime. Right. Anime bulldog. You gonna eat the cake. But I think when we learn how to effectively communicate, then we get to a place where you don't have to hit below the belt. And again, it has a lot to do with our intimacy. The things that we're scared to tell our partner is the key that unlocks probably half the problems that we have, real or imagined. Because honestly, for women, especially if your woman is an overthinker, if I can only speak for me, I'm an overthinker. So if I ask you a question and it takes you 6 hours to answer that question, I filled in all the blanks and I've come up with a false narrative that is literally superb. It's insane, but it's superb, because now you done fucked every bitch at your job.
Right.
So that's two stops on the way home. You got a whole nother family on the other side of town. Like, I've created this whole lifestyle. I mean, it's literally WandaVision gone bad. That's how bad. Like, I created a whole alternate universe. And that's what happens with women, is that because we share and then you don't share back, then all of a sudden WandaVision come on, and now next thing you know, we done created a whole alternate universe that your ass lives in with a whole new
family. And the crazy part is sometimes there's truth, right? You're joking, but there's truth in jest, right? A little bit, not much. Sometimes a guy or a woman has ulterior motives why they're never forthcoming, because the reason they can't give you all of their heart, because part of their heart is still lingering someplace else. And so they can't give you what they no longer own, right?
Because where I lay my head and where I lay my heart, and it might not be at the same address.
May not be the same, but yeah. And then what happens, a person can argue you down, like, you're the one, I love you, but their actions doesn't match their words. And you looking like, really now? Do tell. So with that being said, that leads me to, since we're still talking about intimacy here and whatnot, that's out of the whole, whole dick thing, right? I think that's the toughest one. Because you don't want to be so vulnerable that you're laying there naked, even when you're fully clothed in front of a person, and then they get to be judgmental. Like, and then once you do that, every relationship afterwards, now you're treading cautiously when you shouldn't have to. Like, you shouldn't care what a person think, but we always care what the people that we love. We definitely care what they think. And we give them so much room. And in doing so, giving them so much room, we give them so much room to hurt us. And then you start to lessen that room, the more the next relationship, the next. And then, you run to a female like, he can't talk. He doesn't articulate his feelings. He's not forthcoming. He had a fucked up child. That's not the case. The case was I ran into somebody. I thought she was cool beans. I gave her the whole 411. She threw the shit back up in my face. And now, like, I never want to feel that way again. So it's more so out of self-preservation mode than anything else. Why, some to most men only give you bits and pieces, and you just need to be around long enough to put two and two together. But, I want to touch upon quickly what my co-host said. Like, women, do yourself a favor, get out your head. Like, unless you got telltale signs, unless you got some type of proof, don't have your man, your significant other, don't have him, whomever, having a whole family cross town, right? Don't, like, so if you don't text you back right away, if this don't happen right away, like, whatever's done in the dark, 9 times out of 10 comes to light, right? Whatever done. So sometimes it's just best, instead of using that energy, speculating and then playing the blame game, sit back and wait. Everybody's not great at hiding who they really are. Like, 1 out of 10 people is great at just like, you know what? I'm going to get my Denzel on. And I'm going to get my Denzel on, and you'll never guess who I truly am. But for the other 9 motherfuckers, if you sit back and be patient, don't put your life on hold trying to figure out what they're doing. And like, you wasting too much energy. And so once you're trying to figure it out, so they understand, okay, she's always trying to snoop. So that means that makes them be, I'm giving somebody some real game here. That keeps the man on his game. If you're acting like it doesn't matter, he's going to get comfortable, and then the truth comes out that much sooner. And so you didn't have to do no detective work. What happens is he gets sloppy, and you'll find out what you need to know. And then you need to make some hard choices from that point forward.
And equally, though, you got to be very careful about what you manifest. Especially as, women who, do the whole WandaVision thing, where you create a whole new family, an alternate universe for his ass to live in. But you have to be very mindful, because eventually you're putting so much energy into making him fuck up that you really are you're creating the dynamic for him to do so.
Right.
You're creating the dynamic for him or her, depending on how the roles are played. But you got to be very mindful about what you manifest. You putting all this energy and making into seeing the worst of your significant other, the worst in them. And for what? Because you got some childhood trauma that you can't fix, or there's something on the inside of you that you don't want to tell about. Because the thing about intimacy that's great is that you really do, if you really do the work, you really can find out, like, I don't like this. I don't like when you do this. It's not a judgment call. It's not being nasty. It's just like, listen, babe, I don't like when you, I don't know. Like, I don't like if you stroke my face. I don't like my face to be touched. Well, why? I don't know.
Right.
Well, and the longer you go at, the longer you talk yourself through it, you start to really, understand, like the root of your quote unquote issues.
Facts. Like, and I think a great point. So I think a person should go ahead and be, I guess what you're saying is a person needs to be honest within the conversation, and that will deepen the intimacy between the two people, right?
Absolutely.
Cool, not a problem. So, Karen, I don't like when you set a certain time for the podcast and your ass wound up an hour and something late, hun. I don't like that shit.
Shots fired.
I wish I could have seen the look in your face.
The way I looked at the mic. The way I looked at the mic is the same look I give you any other time. That whole side eye that guy A has mastered. That's what you just got.
Oh man, I wish I could have seen your doggone crazy ass face. Moving on to consistency.
Not like I didn't, not like I didn't, make a phone call and say, well, what's up? But it's okay. I'll take the L.
You got right. Look, you always got to. I'm not gonna let you put me in the bed. Like I gotta.
Right.
I'm
right.
Gonna let
You gonna make it seem like I just consistently just do the shit to get on your nerves, or I consistently am late. Like shit happens.
Karen, no, you're not consistently late, but you just said something that I wasn't going to say, but now I'm going to say it since you said it. Like, we both know that you'll do stuff like, you know what? Let me needle him because I have nothing better to do today. Let's go. You're laughing because that shit is true. It's the woman in you. The fucking woman in you.
Right. It's true. It is true. It is true. I will push the button. I am that person. I will push the button and push the button. Be like,
we have to warn you like, don't. So you got to be careful.
You be like, listen, you be like, you go push the button today. You go get not what you want. You're not going to get the reaction you want. So yeah.
To say the least.
But again, at least I'm consistent in my behavior. You, my dad, my brother, everybody, all the men in my life can all say she's consistent to her behavior. Y'all know if y'all say something to me, really what my reaction is going to be before my reaction comes. And there's times where I don't even say anything. I'll be like, you already know how I feel. So I'm like, I'm not even going to address this bullshit with y'all.
That's terrible, people. That's real life. Terrible. It is what it is. That's
real life truth.
True. I hear you talking. It's still terrible as a motherfucker though. Right. But speaking of consistency, that's just it. Right. So that's another thing. Like, dating is paramount. You can never stop dating. Like, I know it's cliche. I know y'all done heard that like 1 billion and 2 times. We'll make this shit 1 billion and 3. You never can start dating, right? And intimacy is touch and go because there's a lot of variables within being intimate, right? But once you get past those variables, once you can be fully transparent, shout out to Nikki, once you can be fully transparent with your mate, right? And I'm not talking about my Nikki, I'm talking about ET's Nikki. Once you can be fully transparent with them, like I promise you, you'll love like you've never loved before, right? Once again, in anything, not only love, not only business, but in life, if you just be consistent, and that's what happens in a lot of relationships, and that's why a lot of relationships, go by the wayside because we stop being consistent with our actions. We take people for granted. We don't put forth that same effort, or we don't look to surpass that effort. I'm consistently good. Okay, let me go ahead and go up another notch. And I want to be consistently great in my actions towards my wife, right? No matter if she gives me hell, no matter if I give her hell, or vice versa. Let me still be consistent. And in doing so, you will elevate above it because life is going to happen. You're going to fall in and out of love so many times that you can't count. Right? If you ask your significant other, your wife, whomever, like, do you love me today? And they look at you, don't take it personal when they hesitate because they probably stolen some shit that you say, but they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to turn into a full-fledged fight. So, and because we all being honest, we all fall in and out of love. And that's, don't think that you don't. Because if you be with a person long enough, you're going to fall out. It's because the chemistry ain't the same. The motherfucking, the sparkles, the doggone fireworks ain't shooting out your ass the same. You're going, and it's cool. But the thing is, if you be consistent, no matter what it's at currently, you'll get back to there. And not only will you get back to where you want to be, but you'll get back to better because you're not being consistently good. You're being consistently great.
Facts. You have to be consistent in all of it. You have to be consistent in love. You have to be consistent at, getting back to square one. You have to be consistent in dating. You have to be consistent in your intimacy. You have to be consistent in your communication. You have to be consistent in doing what you said you were going to do. And it's hard because as you evolve too, your needs change and you have to be consistent in being able to verbalize that. Like what I needed at 20, I don't need it damn near 40. I don't, because it's just, I'm two different people. What I needed maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't need today, or what I needed 2 weeks ago, I need today. It just all depends on how it goes. But we do, like you said, we take people for granted and we really don't maximize the moment that we have with people or even our kids. I mean, even now, like my kids are getting older, so I'm having that whole like pre-empty nest feeling because they're getting older. They don't need me anymore. Aaliyah's about to be 15. Like she calls me to take her to school, like where she misses the bus. She might call me if something on Netflix, but like the little kid that I could cuddle with is long gone. That's why I'm like so protective over Guy A, because I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy this for the next 2 years because that's all I got. I got 2 more years. When he in kindergarten, he'd be like, Gigi, who? Gigi better go find somebody else.
Right. Well, I'm already there with mama, so I promise you, I understand. Like there was a video on Facebook, and it was of a baby being swaddled, and I remember like that's how mama was. You were, like a burrito. You would pull back to what you comment, and then she spring out of that joint, with that crazy smile. And I look at her now, she about tall as a mother with nothing but attitude. Ain't number 11 years old, but nothing but attitude. So you really got to enjoy these doggone times, because you in the blink of an eye, kids grow up so fast.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with us too. I think for couples who have children, I think you dedicate so much of your life to be mom and dad that you forget to be husband and wife, or you forget to be what you are to each other. Because all couples aren't married, but they still raise their kids together. You forget to be who you said you were going to be to that person, and you lose your identity in parenting because you want your kids to thrive. You want your kids to have, sometimes we, part of parenting is we want our kids to have what we didn't have or be better than our parents. And, it just all depends on the mantras that you take on, and you lose who you are to them, and then you lose who you are to your partner.
Facts. Yeah, this is true. So you really got to, I guess everything has to have a time and place for it. Like, I pride myself, my wife would tell you, right? Like, and it's sad. I need to get back to, whatever, but she'll tell you, and I'll agree. Like, I'm greatest father known to man. I'm not knocking nobody else's dad, but you hard pressed to beat me in a daddy, role, right? It's kind of hard. Like, I pride myself on, giving mama what she needs to, wade the waters of life, right? But because I'm a great dad, that doesn't translate to me being a great husband. Now, she'll say I'm a good husband, and there's areas that I can improve upon tremendously, right? And so we've had those, as you would say, those tough conversations where she was like, you guys don't forget about me in the process. I understand that, it's mama this, mama that, but there's, I'm the one that helped you make mama. And so you can't forget about, me in the process. And I hear, I will make the needed and necessary, adjustments. It won't be no time soon because, like, she's upstairs now eating and I'm down here hungry as a motherfucker. So she'll wait. She'll be all right.
All this over some bacon.
You goddamn right. I'm King Petty. I'm not trying to, I'm King motherfucking Petty. Right.
Listen, I'm about to text her and be like, can you go downstairs and kiss your husband? Because the K in dick is kisses. Because, child, you need more than a Hershey kiss. You need a real live kiss.
Nah. What I need is some food in my belly is what I need. Fuck. Didn't they tell you doggone new age women a way to a man's heart is through his stomach?
Through his stomach. Yeah.
You fucking right. Shit,
I know this.
Fucking with my emotions.
No, I know this. Listen, the hangry is real. The hangriness be
and so
real.
The K in dick is kissing, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna see if I know I won't be able to, and I shouldn't put that out there, right? But I wrote a poem eons ago, and it's called Kissing. But like, you go ahead and wax deep about kissing aspect of dick, and I'm gonna see if I find this poem.
Well, and I also want you to go over your theory of kissing.
Well, I got that in my head, right? But I actually wanted to, see if I can find this poem. So by all means,
go find the Reebok Classic.
Oh, you funny.
Sometimes. Kissing. I mean, we all know I'm weird about kissing. I don't have a problem kissing my significant other. I don't have a problem kissing my kids. I don't know. Kissing was always an issue for me. I don't know why.
I just called to say I ain't kissing your ass.
I don't know. I've always kind of been weird about it, but when I'm actually, in it to win it, and I'm really on one, the kissing part isn't hard. Everybody likes to be kissed differently. I what I hate about kissing? I hate when you do that damn like peck. I'm like, am I a child? Like, if you're gonna kiss me. If you ain't, then don't. I think that's just with me, I'm either off or on, and that's my problem. I'm either off or I'm on. If you can kiss me. If you not, then keep the peck. Because I'm like, what is that? I will say this: the best kiss though is the forehead kiss.
Oh, stop.
My Jesus! That is the best.
But why? Why is that?
I don't know why it melts with it.
I was doing that shit before it was popular, but
I don't know what about the forehead kiss melts women, but it's something about. Well, and I know like the scientific and non-scientific definition. It's because it has to do with the third eye. It has to do with your protection, and it has to do with linking, him to your intimacy. But the forehead kiss is probably by all means my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. You can give me a good old French kiss every now and then, but yeah, If I have to rank, my favorite one is definitely going to be the forehead kiss.
You joking, right? You say you can give you a good French kiss every now and then is what you said? Now and then?
Mm-hmm. Who is really slobbing their significant other down? Like every day.
And that's the problem. Like, if that's what got you to the dance, think about that, right? If that's what got you to the dance, me personally, I love a good nasty, wet spit everywhere on look, and it's crazy, right? It's, people kill me. They're really I want to say pretentious about how they kiss, and I don't like all that spit, but you suck dick, and I get to shoot the club in your mouth. So I'm like, but you got a problem with me? Like, I'm not understanding. And then a dude be like, I don't really like to kiss. And this is a dude. I don't really like to kiss, but you eat ass. So you prefer to eat ass. Like, I'm not understanding the logic behind these non-kissing motherfuckers. I don't get it. Like,
and the thing is, when we first get in relationships, we don't have no problems with it. But then it's like the relationship go on. It's like, I think is the first thing that goes. It's like the kissing. You be like, I don't know. I don't know. It just goes left for whatever reason.
No, it don't go left because y'all overthink it. Like, I don't understand that. I wish I could find this poem. I wish I could find this. This is what we're going to do, right? So I'm going to eventually find this poem and I'm going to give it or send it to my co-host. And then she's actually going to read it and I guess, inject that into the podcast, some way, some shape, because I want y'all to hear it read. So when y'all see this, it's going to be a breaking right here, and then she's going to read it, and then we're going to come back to wherever, right? But yeah, I wrote this doggone poem about kissing because no two kisses are the same. Now, let me give you my take on kissing, right? And how important it is for me. Like, kissing lets me know exactly where we're at. Like, I know exactly, like, I know I can take the temperature of the relationship by a kiss alone. I don't need the body language. I don't need the what's said but not said. I don't need the nuances. Just by kissing, I know where we at, right? And this is the crazy part. The person that breaks off the kiss consistently, that word first, loves the least.
Say it again.
The person that breaks off the kiss first consistently loves the least. Now, y'all can challenge me on your bullshit, on this bullshit here if you want, right? You can call it some bullshit if you want, right? But I just want you to objectively look at your mate. And I want you to think about when y'all lip lock. Who's always the first person to disengage? That's all I'm saying. And then after you determine who that person is, then also to follow that up, it'll be the same person. This is how you know it's not no bullshit. The person that always disengage first always says, I love you, less than the partner that wants to kiss the most. I'm not gonna ask them for cash app. Like, I'm just like, if you just pay attention, like I tell y'all, man, look, I'm gonna help somebody help themselves. I'm no fluff, no filter. I'm being dead ass, right? Pay attention to the small things and to tell you volumes about your relationship and where you at. Y'all be getting so geeked up and gung-ho because you want to show your love off to the world, but you're blind to the facts that the motherfucker you in love with, y'all ain't doing them but going through the motherfucking motions. Let's give it a buck, why don't we, right? Y'all get so, it's my anniversary. You got to do ABC. I need to show everybody on the gram. I need to show everybody on social. I need to show everybody on Facebook. Look what he bought me. Ooh, we at this place. Ooh, let me take a picture of this. Ooh. It ain't even about y'all no more. It's about what you can show people where you at just to say, ooh, I'm in love. But both of y'all know y'all playing charades for real, for real. Keeping it a buck. Why don't I? I don't mind if I do, right? But what happens is and whatnot, when you got a person that love that slow kiss, when you got a person that loves to nibble on the bottom of your lip, when you got a person that looks you in your eye as you kiss, right? When you got a person that just kisses you so hard and with passion, don't even want to fuck. And that's when you know, like, oh, he really into me. Bad breath and all. Like, a nigga gotta love you first. In the morning time, your lips look so good, he still want to kiss you. Like, come here, give me that funky mouth, girl. You're like, what? And then people like, oh, that's nasty. But is it nasty when he eat you first thing in the morning time and you still got that morning twang in between your legs? I'm confused what you deem to be nasty and what don't you deem to be nasty. I don't know. Maybe it's just
nasty. It's nasty when you talk about it now. Because
why is it nasty when you just talk common sense to what should be a commonality amongst people that's in love?
Well, no, I was
I'm confused
because we're so worried about the judgment of others, and that's really what it is. I think a lot of relationships, especially because of social, and I can't say because of social media, but with the influence of social media, reason why a lot of relationships fail is because we're listening to, and I'm gonna call them out, Derek Jackson's and what's the other guy that'd be like, oh, you're average. The one that dresses in a suit is Kevin something.
I don't know. I don't know. I see the Bama. He's just real. I don't want to speak bad about the Bama, but
okay, I will though. You know, y'all, we listen to those types of things, and then you start to measure what you have against what somebody else is having. I've said it's 100 times. I'm gonna say it 100 more. Comparison is a thief of joy. If you want better, you got to start consistently doing better. But if you're in a relationship, you got to do it together. You can't just one person be running, another person walking. I mean, y'all got to go at it together. And so I think when we get to the place where you really can detox from social media and everybody else's rules and, you know, the expectations of others, when you really can stop trying to live up to the expectations of others, and you are having those intimate conversations with your partner and make the rules for yourself and live by those consistently, I think that's when you're winning at the whole game of life.
That shit sound good, man. I think everybody needs a little more. Yeah, I think everybody need more dick in their life. You know, like I say, I'm comfortable in my skin. God knows I can use this.
Listen, actual dick. And the dick that we discussed today.
I don't know about that. Okay, so let me stop. See, you went left. I don't know about that shit you talking about. But everybody does need to be, you know, date more. Everybody needs to be intimate more. Everybody needs to be consistent in their actions, and everybody needs to be kissing more, right? And, you know, we'll make this, you know, Love Jones of the day, the nugget of the day, whatever the case may be, and roll out of here after that. Like, you know, I'm going to say it, like I said, I'm good in my skin. You know, it's a play on words. I'm having fun. And plus it gives somebody something to talk about. Like, there's a point in time that, yeah, please, I need more dick in my life. 9, 10, 11, 12 inches, a yard full of dick in my life, right? Because I want to not lose my wife. So, yeah, if I have to get, you know, I'll take more dick to keep my wife. I know it's going to sound crazy to somebody, right? I'll take more dick to keep my wife. Yep, because I want to date more. Yep, I want to be intimate more. Yep, I want consistency in my relationship. Yep, I definitely want to kiss more. Right. And that's the problem nowadays. Like, I'm having fun with the word, and then it's for shock value. Somebody's going to take that and run with it. I promise you, I'm going to get off this microphone, go upstairs and give my wife the side eye. And then she going to give me the side eye back. Like, boy, if you don't get my damn face, then I'm like, I can't beat her. I'm going to go fix me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and go to bed. But what I'm telling you is this, right? Like, you know, you can't be afraid to ask what you want. You can't be afraid to go get what you want. You can't be afraid to put it all on the line for what you want. And that's why so many relationships, you know what I mean, are not where they should be, could be, and need to be, because people are holding on when, like, anything that's stagnant eventually dies. I'm going to say it again. Anything stagnant eventually dies. So you need to take a check of your relationship. And if your relationship is stagnant, and if it's been stagnant for too long, you know what I mean, it's on a respirator, right? It's beep, 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 clear. Like, do yourself a favor and you know, revitalize your shit. Do yourself a favor. Bring your shit back to life. Do yourself a favor. Better yet, and don't let it die. Like, you know what I mean? Get some dick in your life.
Facts, not fiction. It's your girl, Seth Thorny Chic here in KK Rose, alongside my dick needing co-host.
Oh, you could not wait to say that. You could not wait.
You know, it was too easy. It was too easy. The Lovable Asshole D.K. Walker.
I gave you the setup. It's about time. It was the easy alley oop. Here you go. It was easy. That was easy. Right. Like, don't act like I'm a team player. I take one on. No, I'm not gonna give you that one. But yes, I'm a team player. I'm not taking shit on the chin. Goddamn it! Shit that went too far is out of hand. But yeah, I'm a team player. But no, all jokes aside, though, people, like, real talk. Get back to that stuff, man. Like, real, like, you know, we having fun, play on words, whatever the case may be. You got to, if you value the time spent, two things, and we definitely gone, right? Cause she tried to close it, so I kept talking, right? You know, but if you value the time spent, hush your face, girl. You got to be honest with, is it worth the continuation of being in a relationship, or do you cut where you at and move on? But you got to have that conversation with yourself. And then if you're honest, like, okay, I want to keep going. Then since you want to keep going, do the things that's necessary to make it worthwhile, that you chose the fact that you want to keep going. And just instead of saying, I want to keep going, but you're still doing the bullshit. And then you like, I want to keep going, but ain't nothing changed. The reason nothing didn't change because you didn't change.
Facts. Again, it's your girls, that Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose. I love y'all. Y'all are the dopest listeners. Every Wednesday, y'all make my dreams come true, as well as DKs. You guys are taking our voices places our feet have yet to travel. You guys are the dopest, and we cannot wait to see some of y'all, meet some of y'all. Listen, we have a Patreon account that y'all can tap into and get extra footage and time and attention from me and DK. That link is in the bio, as is in our show notes, rather, as well as our social media handles where you can find us. Listen, we can't do this without you. We thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, share with the people you love. Be consistent. Get you some dick today, tomorrow, and the next day. DK, tell the people bye-bye.
I ain't telling the people shit. It ain't my job to tell the people bye. I'm going to tell them till I see them again, or next time, or later. Take it easy. That's what I'm going to tell them. Peace.
This episode of the Love Is podcast has ended, but please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.